I need to take a second look at finding one trig function from another. The thing is, now that we have these bigger angles, there's a little bit of a wrinkle that we need to take into account. Here we go. All right, same bit of information we start with from before. When we did it before, I said, what's the, suppose I know that the sine of the angle is 2 divided by 3. Okay. Well, sine is opposite over hypotenuse, so that's two sides of a triangle. Now, though, the problem is there's two triangles we might draw, because we might think of this in the first quadrant, where the sine of this angle is the opposite side over the hypotenuse, or y divided by r. As long as I keep y positive and r positive, we're going to have a similar triangle. So here we go. If I make this 2 and this 3, I still have y over r is 2/3. The sine of this angle or the sine of that angle is 2/3. So when I ask what's the cosine, well, am I talking about this one or am I talking about that one? Because it's different. Pythagoras tells us that this other side here is the square root of 9 minus 4, which is the square root of 5, which means over here the x-coordinate of this point is minus the square root of 5. What's the cosine of the angle? Well, the cosine of the angle is the adjacent side over the hypotenuse. It's either the square root of 5 over 3, or maybe it's minus the square root of 5 over 3. So I'm just going to throw a plus or minus sign here. If I don't know which situation I really need, I got to say plus or minus. Right? When I look at the tangent of the angle, well, the tangent is the opposite over the adjacent side. This would be 2 over the square root of 5. Or maybe it's over here, 2 over the negative square root of 5. So again, I got to say plus or minus. If I don't know which situation I'm in, the best I can do is a plus or minus sign. Okay. Let's do another example. Let's say that we have that the tangent of some angle is 7 over 3. And suppose that I know that the tangent is 7 over 3. I want the cosine is, I'm sorry, the cosine is 7 over 3. The cosine of theta can never be 7 over 3. The cosine of theta could be 3 over 7. Boy, let's get my act together here. I want the cosine of theta to be 3 over 7. Are we all on the same page now? Am I on the same page? Yeah, I think I'm okay. Here we go. So I'm going to draw something here where this is 3 and that's 7. Adjacent over hypotenuse is 3 over 7. I want to give you another bit of information, though. I want to say, suppose I know that the tangent of theta is negative. Right? Because there's a second place where this might happen. This angle right here certainly fits that description. But also, I could be down here, where the x-coordinate is still 3 and the r is 7. Not r, the r is 7. The difference is that where this one had a positive y value, this one has a negative. So let's use Pythagoras to find that side. This is the square root of 49 minus 9. That's the square root of 40, which, if you want, is 2 root 10. I don't really care if you simplify it or not, but whatever, 2 root 10. This is 2 root 10. Okay. So looking at that picture, oh, that's positive. This is negative, right? So this one, I always have to do this. I got to move it over to give myself a little bit of room to throw the minus sign in. There we go. Negative 2 root 10. So what's the sine of this angle? Well, the sine of this angle is either going to be this over 7 or that over 7. Since I said the tangent is negative, in the first quadrant, tangent is y over x. They're both positive. Tangent's positive. But in the fourth quadrant, I've got a negative y and a positive x. That would be negative. So really, this is the angle I'm talking about down there. So for this problem, knowing this bit of information, the sine is going to be negative 2 times the square root of 10 over 7. And the tangent would be the opposite over adjacent, which is negative 2 times the square root of 10 over 3. Okay. If you know one trig function, you know another. With the bigger angles possible, there's always two places that fit that original equation, and so you got to be careful that you know which one you want. If you don't know, then just throw the plus or minus sign in.